This is a big question. Should you quit your job if you are preparing for CAT or not? And the answer is not very simple, but in very short format, I would say no. Don't quit your job. It is not worth it in most of the cases. But I know that many of you might not be satisfied with this answer. So I should also tell you what can be a meritorious situation when you should quit your job and what cannot be. Allow me to take a couple of your minutes and give your absolute attention to me if you are also in the throes of this question. Let's take a look at the but which is there. Okay, let's see when quitting makes sense. If your job is extremely demanding in terms of time, eventually, if it is demanding in terms of your mind as well, your time is also going to be consumed. And that's why I said it. Let me give you a situation. Let's say you're working in a job that requires you to be present in that job thoroughly for 14 to 15 hours. Maybe, let's say you are a security guard. In that case, your job might not be mentally too taxing, but still you might not be able to open the book and solve a DILR set. Or for that matter, you won't even be able to read while you are on the job because you won't have that kind of free time available. And that's why if you have, let's say 10 to 12 or even more number of hours logged in every single day, and you think it is not manageable for you, and this is the key by the way, it's not like you have 10 to 12 hours that you have to give in, but if you can't manage your preparation along with that kind of time, you can think about quitting. The second, which is rather an important issue, is your finances. If your finances are well settled, which means you do not have as such any liability on you, financial liability, through your home or anything that way, and you know that, okay, if finances are not a problem for me, I would like to dedicate my entire focus to CAT, then you can again think about quitting CAT. But please follow this thing in this order only. First, if your job is demanding, otherwise let the money flow in. What is the problem in that? Third thing is, you tried CAT preparation with your job, but you could not go beyond a particular percentile. 90-95 percentile, you get it. But maybe this is not something that you are aiming for. Especially if you want to get into the top B schools, 99.xx is what you need. And if you have done that thoroughly with all your heart, with 100% devotion while you were in the job, and you have realized that with job this might not be possible, then you can again think about quitting the job. It will be meritorious. And finally, if you think that your job profile is non-complementing, there are some job profiles, in fact there are many job profiles which complement you when you go for MBA, but there are some which do not. Again, let me give you an example. Let's say you are teaching Hindi or any non-English language somewhere in the school. Your job just as a language teacher might not really be exactly complementing to what you might be doing in MBA or later on. But on the other hand, let's say if you are a tech professional, you are a coder, then you know that using that ability along with your MBA, you can become a good product manager or a product developer. The important thing is that if you think that there is a non-complementing job profile, but your finances are settled and it is demanding on time, it is a good idea to drop it. In that case, give your entire focus to your job. When quitting does not make sense. Now listen to this carefully. First is, if you are not sure if MBA is the only thing you want to do. A lot of people do MBA because others have inspired them to do MBA, or they are inspired by the glamour associated with it. I'm not saying it is wrong. It is absolutely okay. You might be thinking that your current career might not be fulfilling to you. Let me try MBA. I might have a lot of other options also, but MBA can be one option which I can definitely try. You are a sincere student, perfect. Even if you're a sincere student, if you're not fully sure if MBA is all that you actually need, don't quit your job if you have it. In case this doesn't happen, you will have a lot of guilt to deal with. Second would be if your finances are not settled, which is actually opposite of what we have already discussed. If finances are a big requirement, you cannot quit your job. If you have that stress piling up on you that I have to deal with my family and everything else, how will you be able to study anyway? Plus, if God forbid things do not pan out the way you want them to, still you will waste 1 year because CAT will not still happen. Third thing is, if you are early in your CAT prep, I emphasize this thing extensively. I tell all my students that if you are taking CAT for the first time, and if you are taking your CAT early in your overall lifetime, as in, it's not like you graduated in 2010 and you took your first CAT in 2015. It's not like that. I'm saying that if you graduated maybe in a year or two or so, you are taking your CAT exam, or just at that time when you are about to graduate, or maybe a year before it. If you are very early in your prep, do not quit your job. Of course, job will not make any sense if you are already in your college studies, but the moment you graduate from it, don't think about, oh my God, I cannot deal with my job and my CAT preparation. Come on, you are just sloppy in that case. It is important that you realize that is it actually the job which is causing you to not being able to prepare. Sometimes when we start job for the first time, it is taxing. It takes maybe a couple of months for us to get into that motion. Do not let that particular opportunity go for a miss. Go for it. It's okay. And still, if you are not able to do that, you can always consult a mentor and then decide whether you want to quit or not. But in general circumstances, if you are a fresher, you are taking CAT for the first time, if you are an early preparation guy, don't quit your job. And finally, if you have a highly complementing job profile, this basically makes your interview conversion chances really high. 50% of your MBA admission is just your PI. If you look into various Bschool factors that take into account how they are going to select you, and I've created so many videos on it, you can check that out. You will see that after the first shortlist, 50 to 75 and even 90% of the portion is dedicated to only your PI performance. And if you have a job role which is complementing to your MBA or a career after it, you more or less are in. In that case also, you should not leave your job. So what you should do? I'd say that manage for 2 to 3 months. At this time when you're seeing this video, you have a couple of months before you get into that phase where things will become very tight. And that phase comes after August. If your scores do not improve, then you can think about quitting, otherwise not. If your scores are improving, great. Then I'd say that if nothing is working, still you should try to drag till July end, because when you fill your CAT form, they will ask you to fill your status of work experience till July 31st of that year. CAT forms will give you the time duration between August and September mid, but you will have to fill the details till July end of that year. So if you are working till July 31st of that year, or maybe till 1st August, then more or less you are good. Because for CAT authorities, you are not in any gap and you are a regular work experience person. After that, you can quit your job if you need more time to prepare and so on. Later, we will think about how to deal with that portion of gap, but that will still be manageable. Another interesting thing, I would say that try long leaves sabbaticals. In fact, I generally say that go for short leaves after some days, after every some days. 10 days, 15 days, 20 days, you do your office work, maybe 2 to 3 days leave you take after that. It really helps you get into the motion. If something is amiss, you can catch up on it very easily. Instead of leaving your job altogether, this is actually a better option. Many times, when things do not pan out well, sabbatical will let you go back to your previous job and will also not leave you high and dry. So think about this thing thoroughly. And if it still doesn't work, please consult a mentor. Do not assume that you are the best brainy ever. Please consult a mentor. If you don't have a mentor, reach out to us. We will help you out with that. If you don't want to reach out to us and you don't have a mentor, at least try to reach out to a mentor through some LinkedIn, or some person who is in that space, somebody who has done MBA, or somebody who is a professional who can guide you. LinkedIn is a big source to reach out to people. Even if you reach out, say, to 100 people, at least one will reply if you are sincere enough. Actually, many of them will reply. But please consult a mentor before you leave your job. And if the mentor suggests that yes, you can, go ahead, then leave your job. That's all. But there is a but here. What is that but? If you then finally decide to leave your job, I'd say that you keep one thing in mind, and that is that your CAT preparation becomes your job. In that case, nothing else will matter in your life till last Sunday of November when CAT happens. I wish you all the very best. Subscribe to our channels. Reach out to us for any information, any concerns. See you soon.